You know you're into something when central banks join the party. Central Bank Digital Currencies, also known as CBDCs, is backed by government central banks, which means they hold the liability. As decentralized digital currencies like Bitcoin become more popular, the central banks are beginning to realize they need to get in the game. They don't want to miss this evolution of money. China announced a pilot project of its digital Yuan in 4 cities. Sweden's central bank has announced a pilot for digital versions of its currency for retail use called e-krona. Additionally, the United States Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, and the European Central Bank are all exploring this technology. Meanwhile, the Bank for International Settlements, the so-called central bank's bank, recently forecasted that amid the current global pandemic, contaminated bills may be the catalyst for central banks to deliver a digital cash as an alternative for payments. And finally, the US is considering implementing a digital dollar, which a lot of people, a lot of analysts have been talking about. So why would a government get involved in any kind of virtual currencies? The IMF stated several reasons for wanting to join the party of the digital currencies. The cost of managing and transferring cash is one of the biggest reasons. Taking out some of the factors of the equation, this will reduce a lot of expenses, which I think people are looking for. You don't need to go through the banks that have their own platforms and security systems. Every time an outsider taps into it, costs are incurred. Without banks, there are no additional costs. There's also the benefit of convenience, speed, and reach. One of the most common problems encountered with stimulus payments was the actual distribution of that payment. Checks were getting lost, banking information was not updated. CBDCs can land directly on someone's phone, making it much easier to use. Private companies will also be forced to meet transparency standards. We want that because that will discourage illicit activity. However, the ultimate question is, how will this affect cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of the other major cryptocurrencies? Central banks that develop their own fiat currency that's pegged by digital currencies might be providing more power to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies by paving the way for the institutional interest. More importantly, the same infrastructure that is used by the widespread adoption of the CBDC may be used by Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. Imagine each central bank having their own CBDCs. That will require a sophisticated system wherein every financial institution would transact CBDC. That is the same infrastructure non-central bank digital currencies like Bitcoin will need. That's not all. Charles Bouvier, senior contributor of Forbes magazine, said that leveraging CBDCs could potentially make policy actions aimed at stimulating specific industries wildly more effective. Take the travel industry as an example. Heavy amounts of capital flowed out of the travel industry faster than the unprepared economy could track. Bouvier said that in the CBDC environment, virtually all transactions are zero-knowledge encrypted. This would enable privacy and precision to where an impending domino effect from something such as tumbling airline industries could be categorized and calculated. The CBDC is far from maturity. It's not even in its infancy. There's still a myriad of governance problems that must be solved. One of these, specifically, is privacy. CBDCs are centralized. This means that every transaction will be visible to central banks. That is an unprecedented amount of data about an individual and collective transaction patterns. The birth of CBDC, however, will help lay the foundation for a global monetary system that will help cryptocurrency mature with the product. If you want to learn how you can put cryptocurrencies in your IRA, check out our website at noblebitcoin.com. Get the free guides, and I think you're going to learn a lot about how we are able to help people really grow their portfolios with some of these incredible digital currencies.